Hey guys, so I'm going to be making wontons for you guys today, and this is a really neat recipe because traditional wontons actually doesn't have a lot of stuff other than for pork and shrimp, and even for seasonings it's usually just like white pepper, salt, and a little bit of sugar. So none of that like extra mumbo jumbo stuff that you'll see where like they'll add like rice wine and like vinegar and soy sauce and all of that jazz. There's a ton that goes into the noodles and the wrappings and even the soup, but today we'll just be tackling that dumpling portion. So I can't wait to show you guys this recipe, so let's head over to the kitchen and then let's get started. Alrighty guys, so let's start off with the filling first. So I have a cup of TVP and then I rehydrated it with half a cup of water. And then right now I'm putting in about, 2 tablespoons of a light olive oil. And what I found was to mimic kind of the fattiness of pork, you really have to put some oil in there. Otherwise the TVP just tastes like dried soy protein. So I know I talked a little bit about the simpleness of all of the spices before, but in order to make the TVP taste like meat, I have a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, white pepper, salt, a little bit of sugar, and then a little bit of soy sauce. So recipe is going to be down below. And then this is going to be that vegan fish sauce that keeps on giving. So we made that a little bit earlier and I'll link that down below. But what traditional kind of wonton recipes, they have a little bit of oomph to them. And that's because old wonton makers used to add a little bit of dried flounder powder to it. So it's a little bit of fish powder mixed with the porkiness flavor. And that kind of really amps up how a wonton tastes. So I thought that the best substitute to that would be just our vegan fish sauce. So here's the next cool ingredient. So I found some vegan shrimp at the Asian grocery store, and the flavor is really made from seaweed, and I found that the texture was like a little bit like a hard sponge, and I thought it was very similar to shrimp, and I was pretty amazed by it. So I just wanted to show that to you guys, and this is basically how they look. And in Hong Kong wontons, they actually put the whole shrimp in so that you can see it through that thin wonton wrapper. For me, that might be just these pieces are a little bit big, so I'm just gonna dice them up into pretty large chunks so that you know when you will be biting into this shrimp. But really, like, if you want it smaller, that's really up to you how you chop it. So afterwards, just add the rehydrated TVP to the vegan shrimp mixture, and then to bind, it's usually with an egg. I've made a flax egg. Again, recipe is gonna be down below. You can see how similar the texture is to an egg, and I could have used cornstarch and a little bit of water, but I just thought that this is gonna give you some extra fiber. It's like kind of a healthier alternative to eggs anyways, and it does the job. So just stir that around and make sure that everything is coated with the flax egg, and then you're ready to go. So put that aside. These are a traditional kind of Hong Kong wonton wrappers. They're supposed to be super thin. You can find them at any store. Be aware though, a lot of them do have eggs in them. This one just so happens to not. So you want to just put in about, let's say 2 teaspoons or so, just enough to kind of have still a little bit of room on the edges, and then with water you just want to paint the edges in. And so wontons, actually, it's not supposed to be anything too pretty. It's really just supposed to have a ton of folds in it. It's supposed to look quite organic when you fold it. And I actually saw some old YouTube clips of how kind of old wonton masters used to fold them, and they used to just take a chopstick and just kind of like point at all of the edges and then just do a bunch of folds. But for me, I just fold it once and then I fold the sides, and then if you want to fold some more of the sides, again, just kind of make sure to kind of press the centers together just to make sure that everything is closed. Because the wrappers are so thin, they can burst if you don't close them well. So this is the stage where you can actually just take it into the freezer and freeze it, and then you'll have a ton of wontons later, or you can just put it into water and then prepare the rest. So I'm going to show you how traditionally you would serve the wonton noodles. So I have a light soy sauce on the bottom paired with a little bit of sesame oil, and then usually they'll use yellow chives, but I've basically just julienne long strips of scallions right into it. And so that all goes onto the bottom. Noodles, a lot of the traditional wonton noodles have eggs in them, so I basically just went with a simple kind of wheat or ramen noodle. So for these guys, while the water is boiling, you want to just gently put them in. And for really good wontons, if you just want them cooked, the water shouldn't be boiling too much. It should just be like a gentle rolling boil. And then once the wontons float up, they're ready to go. So again, these guys are super fragile. The skin is super soft, so it would make sense definitely to use a spoon to put them in there. I have a little bit of bok choy on the side just for color. And then this is some just vegetarian broth that I put over the top. And of course, the traditional recipes will have some pork and some chicken and whatnot in there, but I think that it's so flavorful already, the wontons, and you have the soy sauce and the sesame oil on the bottom, that really you're not going to be missing anything too much from the broth. just wanted to show you kind of the inside. It's really, really nice. Like the pork is super soft because you added a little bit of oil and a little bit of richness to that, and then you have big chunks of shrimp right in there. Anyways, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this recipe. I actually very much like it. I've had it a couple of times already. So as usual, if you happen to like this recipe and you want to see more like it, remember to hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys again next time. Bye!